Hey everybody, this is Joe. I'm coming to you from my Houston, Texas garden. I'm in zone 9A and we're on Halloween night, and I'm gonna do a really quick check-in. We finally got some really good rain, and so I thought I'd show you a few things that look so pretty. And I've moved a lot of stuff. I'm getting ready to completely tear out my front garden and start again. And so now I'm moving things, but I also got a bunch of new native plants. And I'll show those to you also. But look at this rose. This is Excellence von Schubert. And it always has a fall bloom, but usually it's in September. And here we are the day before November starts, but the drought has made such a difference in my garden this year. So you can see it's all come out again, and a lot of my roses have come back out, which is super fun. This is that little zinnia I showed you guys a couple of weeks ago, and let me see, it's called Zinnia Double Raspberry Ripple, and I looked back at when I planted these seeds. Now most of them got washed away. It's not very full because these are the seeds that mostly got washed away when I had a sprinkler problem and it didn't turn itself off. But I counted, these went from seed to flower in two days, less than 2 months. So if you are looking for something that will come and bloom quickly, this might be something to plant in, the day after your last frost date, and so that in 2 months you'll have something blooming, and the bees will already have something ready. And they're a nice, it's a double flower, but the bees and the butterflies can still get to the pollen in there. I bought these a while back. I just couldn't resist them, just at the Home Depot. But I think they're a little bit harder. I really don't see the creatures on them, and so I'm trying now and being more mindful of buying flowers that have an open, not quite so double look to them. This is one I planted. It's bloomed a little bit later. It took maybe 2.5 months to bloom, almost 3. This is a zinnia called Lilliput, and this is my first flower on it, but it's getting ready to flower really nicely. Oh, there she is, making her cameo. One of the things I did this week is I planted a bunch of that the fennel that I've grown from seed, and I'm really excited. It looks good. It's done well since I put it in the ground, and I've got a little bit more to go, but I've never grown fennel from seed before, and so I'm really happy about that. Well, before I go into the garden, I want to show you 2 things over here. The first one is I planted this last week. I have a video about the pots I have, and I had just planted, but I just wanted to show you what happened to that phlox. Wow, it had buds all over it when I bought it, and I knew it would be pretty, but gosh, I maybe have never grown phlox before, and it is so beautiful. And then I've got this little salvia coming out, and then of course this Picasso and purple petunia that I'm so happy about and so excited about. And I put in the ground this holy basil, which is supposed to have pink flowers, and I'm hoping that because basil grows so fast that I will get some flowers out of that. Now I'll show you what deep watering and a couple of inches of rain will do. Look at this. That is Mrs. B. Arcant, which is one of my very favorite roses. And this is the one in the that's only about a year old, maybe not even that much, that I'm trying to get up on the fence. I've got lots of little things coming up, and I know one thing I forgot to mention last week was this. I am so excited. This is Coral Nymph Salvia, and I saw it on a YouTube channel called Gulf Coast Butterfly, and the woman's name is Rachel, and she's wonderful, and she has been growing coral nymph salvia, and I could never find it in the store. And then I was at a friend's house and she had some, and I thought, oh my gosh, this is coral nymph salvia. And she said, I didn't buy it, it came in on another pot. She said it was the prettiest thing in my garden, but she had no idea what it was. So I got a lot of seeds from her. Now I've got, I don't know why it doesn't seem to be particularly happy. I've got a couple, but I'm gonna try some more. But anyway, I'm so excited about getting this because I know how beautiful it is in Rachel's garden. The things that are doing so great this week, I really just took a close look. These are all violas. This is called King Henry. It's sort of the classic Johnny Jump Up that you see, and they're really ready to be, you know, sort of pricked out or planted up. I didn't put that many in each little cell, and so really I could just take that and put that, you know, in a pot or in the ground somewhere. So I'm excited about those. And then I've bought a whole bunch of native Texas plants, and I'm hoping, you know, to buy more and more native plants as I go along, to try to have a really good balance of, you know, things that are just appeal to me and are beautiful, and things that are helpful to the environment. I'm just stopping by on the nearly wild rose that had some really bad spider mites, and so I just chopped off a bunch of it, and it's all lots of new little growth on there. And then, of course, my old favorite is this wonderful pink muley grass, and I had some of this Peter's purple monarda, which was spectacular in the spring, and it spreads. I've never grown it. You can see this is the monarda here, and look, it's just wandered off. It's over here, it's going underneath this rose, it's wandering over here into this salvia, and so it has runners, and so I think I'm going to be digging it up and sharing it with people, or planting it around the yard for a long time. But I took a big chunk out. You can see how this grass has a little blank spot there, and it's because this monarda had gotten so big. So I chopped a big piece out of it, and I'm trying to fluff that up and give it some more space. And then I put it over here. So I've put a couple of things in here that are native to Texas. Now, monarda is native to Texas. Peter's purple is a cultivar, but I've got the Peter's purple there. And then this is porterweed, which is also native to Texas. And this back here is a dwarf Barbados cherry. And I'm excited about that. But I'm happy to give some plants some native things in the yard, some creatures, some native things in the yard to be on. And then I got this little, I never grow lance leaf coreopsis because it's too yellow, and I don't like bright yellow. But this is a cultivar that's pale yellow, and I'm really excited about it. And so I just bought that the other day, and I'm hoping it's getting enough sun right there. And then this is a little native milkweed called swamp milkweed, and it's got great big, look at that big old pod on there. And I'm excited that it's blooming all over again, and it's coming up from the bottom and gonna be bushier hopefully next year. And then there's a little thing back here that I kind of forget is back here because it's tucked way behind all of this gigantic amaryllis, and this is called fleece flower, and it is so pretty, and I'm really excited that it's blooming back here and doing so well. And I'm hoping, since there's some way over there, that maybe it's spread and I can chop some off and put it in some different places. That would be super fun to have that around. It's just gorgeous. Now, I planted a native passion vine. I bought it, it's pale yellow, and it's only supposed to get 12 feet tall, and I thought that sounds manageable. Well, it only got 10 inches tall, and it was spread on the ground a little bit. So I dug some of it up. I didn't have it in enough sun probably. I dug some of it up and I put it in here. I made this contraption so that the squirrels wouldn't dig it up. They seem to want to dig up anything that I plant. But I've got 2 little hunks of it there, and hopefully that'll grow up here, and next year have it's a host for Gulf fritillary butterfly caterpillars. This is that Texas kidneywood. I don't know what, we had a big storm. That's what happened. And so now I've got to find a stake and help that stand back up. So it's a very sad little tree. And then this is false indigo, which I've never grown. It's a native, it's a butterfly host. I don't know if it's native to Texas. It's a butterfly host, and it really just, I had like 1 flower the whole year, and now it's getting all this fall color. I hope that that is fall color and not it's dying. So we're gonna go with fall color. And then you can see all this new growth. This is another Mrs. B.R. Cant. You can see all this new growth coming and flowers all up in here. And look how beautiful they are. This is what happens when you water deeply. I just started watering again. I just, when we had this drought, I thought, well, you know, they'll be fine. And it was fine, but it wasn't beautiful. And so I started watering, and then we got 2 inches of rain this week. And look at that. So it's really coming out again, like it should have in the 1st of September. But I'm so happy it's coming out now. I'll show you before this gets to be too long a video. This wonderful, there's my wonderful Salvia leucantha, which has just all fallen over. The 2 inches of rain, and we got that 2 inches in about an hour. It did not help this stand up straight, but it's so pretty. And it's just been, that's where the most, I've seen the most insect life. It was on that this week. And then I lucked out. I found some scabiosa. All mine died this summer, and it was the most beautiful thing in the spring. So I'm hoping this will be fine over the winter. But the bees, they literally, I had bees follow me to the checkout at the garden center because they didn't want to stop. So there's the little knotweed. It's just looking so cute. I love it. And then, oh, as expected, look at that aster. Oh, I'm so excited about it. And I cut down that big sort of volunteer, and so that we could get a little more sun here. And oh my goodness, it's just, I've never grown asters before. And this is a native Texas aster, and I'm so excited about it. And it's a butterfly larval host as well. I've never seen anything on it, but I'm really excited. And then some other native things that I put in the ground this week. When I say I mean the guy that helped me put in the ground. This is a native wood fern here, and then this is Walter's viburnum, and I bought 2, and then I had another one, and it was sort of way back by the fence, and it was not getting enough sun, so we put it, it's right in there. And that will have pretty little white flowers, and it bloomed for a long time. That first one I had, it probably bloomed for a month, and it was really beautiful. There she is. Say hello, Mrs. Say hello. Here is my here's my final report on the plant supports on growing the Salvia leucantha through plant supports. Don't do it, folks. It's a hot mess. So I think it just got taller than it should have, because I chopped this down. I chopped it to the top of these. It was all bushy, kind of midsummer, and I thought, well, you know, sort of Chelsea chop, and then I trimmed it again, and oh my goodness, it just, I think I forced it to be taller than it should, taller than it would naturally be, because it had that support. And then, you know, by the end of the year, it's just all sort of collapsed and fallen over. And of course, it's still just beautiful. But, you know, it looks really good from the front, but from the back, that's a mess. So don't do that, friends. Learn from my mistakes. Here are 2 more native plants I put in. This is a Texas redbud. I think it's really easy to get and of course it looks terrible, right? Because this tree was in a pot for, you know, a long time, waiting to be planted in the ground. And so there are eastern redbuds. This is a native Texas redbud, and I'm excited about having that. And it'll be a small tree. It shouldn't be more than, I think, about 15 feet tall. And then this little stick coming out of the ground is a native Oh, salt marsh mallow. That sounds too much like marshmallow, and so it makes me think I got the name wrong. But anyway, it likes a little bit of a wet situation and a little bit of shade. So up against the garage, and there's a leak over here in the gutter, and so it makes that a little bit soggy there. So I'm hoping that I'll have big pink flowers, and I'm excited about that. And then I cut this thing down after the big sprinkler disaster. This is that Amistad salvia, and the whole thing has come back so beautifully. I was thinking about tearing it out, and of course now I'm like, well, it's so pretty, which I keep coming across that problem, which is I want to tear something out and then I don't because it's pretty at the, right after I think I should tear it out. This is up close the Excellence von Schubert. It's just one of my favorite things. And in years where there aren't droughts, I saw pictures the other day of some from last year where a flower head like that was, like 18 inches long and had, hundreds of flowers on it. It is amazing. So this is pretty good for a drought year. And then the last thing I was going to show you, which is the unglamorous side. I talked about this a long time ago, but this is my leaf pile. And so we had leaves, just leaves, stacked up to about here. So this is 4 feet high, and all of those have scrunched down and collapsed down, and now I just sort of have garden waste on the top of it. And I've used this many, but it hasn't broken down like I thought it would because we haven't had any rain, and it needs moisture to sort of rot and break down. And I sort of dug around in here. So this is my compost that's looking pretty okay. And then this is another compost that, again, it's just too dry. But, this is the real work of the garden back here. And I've pretty successfully, I think, camouflaged it with this shell ginger that got that big in about 9 months. Well, you guys, I hope you have a great week. Happy Halloween. And I'll see you later. Bye-bye.